This is Packers Nation HQ, and today I want to explain exactly why this moment feels so familiar, so dangerous for Chicago, and so decisive for the direction the Green Bay Packers are taking as they enter a wild card matchup against the Bears with everything on the line. From my perspective, the parallels are impossible to ignore. In 2010, Aaron Rodgers was in his sixth NFL season and his third year as a starter when he walked into Chicago carrying the weight of history. That night ended with a Super Bowl run and Lombardi Trophy number 13. Now, Jordan Love is in his sixth season, his third year as a starter, stepping into the same rivalry, the same hostile environment, and the same unforgiving stage that has broken quarterbacks for generations. I don't believe that's a coincidence. I believe it's the Packers cycle reasserting itself. What I see when I watch this Packers team is a group that understands who they really are far better than the standings or late-season narrative suggest. Green Bay isn't coming into this game hoping for chaos. They're coming in with clarity, matchup advantages, and a style of football that has always worked in January, a disciplined offense, a physical run game, and a defense that, when locked in, can suffocate an opponent's rhythm. Let's start with the simplest reason the Packers have the edge: the math. When emotion is removed from the equation, Chicago's defense simply hasn't been good enough. They allowed more than 24 points per game, ranked near the bottom of the league in total defense, struggled badly against the run, and gave up too many yards per play. Against playoff-level offenses, that profile usually ends the same way. Eventually, the defense breaks. Jordan Love has quietly become the pressure point in this rivalry, and I don't think that gets talked about enough. He's undefeated in games against Chicago that he started and finished. Earlier this season at Lambeau Field, after shaking off an early interception, he dismantled the Bears with calm, surgical efficiency. That wasn't improvisation. That was timing, anticipation, and complete command of LaFleur's offense. When you understand LaFleur's illusion of complexity system, you see why this matchup matters. The same formations, the same motions, the same looks, but completely different results depending on defensive discipline. Chicago hasn't shown it can sustain that discipline for 4 quarters. From my perspective, preparation is the hidden advantage here. The Packers have already seen the adjustments, coverage disguises, and pressure looks Chicago used in the rematch. Love enters this game healthy, mentally settled, and with a full week to process every mistake and missed opportunity. Quarterbacks rarely get that level of clarity against a division rival in the playoffs. Then there's Josh Jacobs, which is where January football becomes brutally honest. Jacobs is fresh, and that matters more than any stat line. He said himself he feels better than he has in weeks, and history shows what happens when Jacobs comes in rested. His vision sharpens, his burst returns, and the wide zone scheme stops being a grind and becomes a weapon against a Bears defense that struggles with gap integrity. That's a dangerous combination. An anonymous NFC North scout told me this week, if Green Bay controls first down, Chicago doesn't have the defensive depth to survive the second half. That's not hype. That's film study. When Jacobs hits downhill early, linebackers hesitate. Safeties creep toward the line, and that's when Jordan Love starts finding Jaden Reed in space. Reed's versatility is the silent killer in this offense. Motion, slot routes, quick hitters, deep routes. He forces defenses to declare early, and Chicago has struggled with communication on the back end all season. Chicago does have one clear path to staying alive, and that path is turnovers. They led the league in takeaways, and that's real. Attacking the football is coached. Defensive backs aggressively attack the catch point, and weather can amplify that risk. But this is where Jordan Love's growth shows up. He finished the season with one of the lowest interception rates in the league. That's not luck. That's decision-making. That's knowing when to live for the next play. In my opinion, if Love protects the football, this game tilts heavily toward Green Bay. The second major factor is rest versus momentum, and I firmly believe rest wins in January. LaFleur made a decision that could define his coaching legacy. He chose health over optics. While Chicago played its starters deep into Week 18, Green Bay essentially took an unofficial bye. Bodies heal, ankles reset. Timing improves without the wear and tear of game day collisions. A Packers shareholder since the 1960s once told me, every championship team I've seen was healthier than people realized when January started. That stuck with me because it captures how this franchise thinks. Community-owned, patient, built for the long term, not headlines. Josh Jacobs talked this week about confidence not being arrogance, but belief in preparation. That's the difference between teams that survive and teams that collapse. When you walk into Soldier Field feeling right physically and mentally, the game slows down, and you can't ignore the scheduling edge. Being a Saturday night game matters. Chicago comes in with less rest after a physical divisional matchup. That's not an excuse, it's reality. In January, every hour of recovery counts. The third reason Packers have the edge is the simplest one, and sometimes the simplest truths are the hardest to accept. The Packers have been the better team in this matchup. Across 2 games, Green Bay led for more than 75 minutes. Chicago didn't lead for a single second of regulation football. That tells you everything about control, consistency, and execution. Even in the loss, even without love for stretches, Green Bay dictated terms. From my perspective, this defense is being underestimated. Yes, it stumbled late in the season, but I don't believe that defines it. When shell coverages stay disciplined and run fits are sound, they make good offenses look ordinary. The challenge is sustaining that for 60 minutes, and the players know it. A Hall of Fame analyst, Pat McPherson, summed it up perfectly when he said, "Green Bay's greatest strength isn't talent, it's identity. They know who they are when it matters." That's Lombardi time in modern form. It's not flash, it's execution under pressure. And this is where history matters. The Frozen Tundra of Lambeau Field, the Lambeau Leap, Bart Starr, Reggie White, Brett Favre, all of it lives inside this rivalry. Every Packers team carries that weight, but not every team is crushed by it. Some are sharpened by it. Jordan Love is being tested now. This is the moment where careers pivot. I don't believe this is about recreating 2010. I believe it's about proving the standard never left. 13 world championships don't happen by accident. They happen because this franchise understands timing, patience, and when to strike. A win here doesn't guarantee a Super Bowl run, but it sends a clear message to the league. The Packers aren't rebuilding. They're recalibrating. Love isn't a placeholder. Jacobs isn't a luxury. Reed isn't a gadget. This is a core. And if Green Bay walks out of Chicago with a win, it won't be because of luck, weather, or rivalry magic. It will be because they were prepared, healthier, and fundamentally better at the things that matter most in January football. Before we wrap up, if you're part of this Packers community, subscribe to Packers Nation HQ, like the channel, and leave a comment below. That small gesture of support matters more than most people realize, because what's happening right now isn't just another game. It's a moment that deserves to be discussed, debated, and remembered by every Green Bay Packers fan.